Are we ready to go?
Episode 36.
Let's
Rock.
hell yeah.
Let's rock.
Look, now we got an opening with Let's Rock,
That's right.
and we have a closing.
Both have a week. A closing.
Did I say closing?
Yeah.
Closing.
Yeah.
I've been using. By the way, I've been in the Mano Minutes, the newsletter. I've been using Let's Have a Week
Why not?
because it's a great saying.
I love it.
And now we got a real good opening. All right, let's jump into it, Carson.
We're slowly becoming a podcast, huh?
We're getting there. I
Yeah.
wouldn't say yet.
Slowly, I said.
I think we need probably like 50 to 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
So, I completely shifted gears on you for this episode and next one. This was coming actually from a run thought that I had earlier today, this morning. And it was something that I couldn't help myself but touch on.
Mm-hmm.
We had some really good topic suggestions from listeners, but we're going to get to those for episode
38
and 39. And I know they'll understand, but we're going to get a little serious, Cars. I mentioned it obviously to you. We went over the topic. But this, I couldn't help myself. This is so important to me. Of course, it stems from the recent events that happened this past week. Today is September 12th. So most, if not everyone, knows what I'm talking about. I don't want to bring it up because I am not a political person. And I don't like getting into all of that stuff. And I'll actually mention why later in this, not in this episode, but the next one. But just overall reflection of everything that's been going on with this situation and situations in the past, dude. I've kind of came to what I think is my overall conclusion to all these situations. And I can't help myself but recognize that I just feel like we are in a mental health crisis. And I think again, this is opinionated, I think this is the root cause of all of these situations. Whether it's the one that happened this past week or all of this tragedy that we constantly hear happening in America and around the world. It might just because I have a wellness perspective, but I can't help but mention I think it's because we are in such a mental health crisis. And that's what I want to touch on today, but then really get into on episode 37 in a topic episode on mental health.
Yeah. I'm excited to have you lead the way. I told him before the podcast started, I'm just going to follow your lead.
Mm-hmm.
Just from like my standpoint, dude, all of it is just, whether it was this week or past weeks, we're talking about tragedy at events, schools. Like, it's just so hard to even wrap your head around. Because everyone flies in with different opinions about this and that, and it all turns into, like, just crazy conversations. But when you just boil it down to the mental health stuff that you're talking about, and there's so many different paths to go down. It's so hard to... Tragedy happens, and you're trying to wrap your head around things, and you're like, you don't even know where to start. So I'm going to follow your lead on this one, but I'm interested to hear some of your advice because I think it could go a long way with a lot of people.
That's a great point, though, because you're so right, dude. Like, one of the things that I'm so proud of that I focus on, that this is actually going to be an action item in episode 37, is my change in view and the amount of time I spent on social media. But I bring that up because what you said in terms of tragedy happens and then the discussion and conversation after. Am I wrong for saying that I feel like most of it goes nowhere? Like, it's a lot of times we're just saying we're going to do this, we need to make a change, but it's kind of just left in the air and there's actually no action to it.
Yeah, I mean, it turns into, like, a debate on what that change should be, and then it ends up, like, fizzling out, and everyone moves on with their life.
And it's politicized. And
yeah, and then everyone moves on, and then it happens again, and we go through the same, like, circle again and again. I don't know. Yeah.
So I think the reason I kind of came to this conclusion with kind of the whole mental health thing is one, just my personal belief of how important mental health is. And I know people use that word mental health so broadly, but I'm really thinking about emotional health, right? The relationship. We're going to go into all of this stuff. But, dude, I think that makes so much sense of kind of why I came to this conclusion was because I truly was asking myself, okay, here's the problem. What is the solution, right? We see the problem, and I concluded that the problem was mental health, and I came up with a solution. But I think that the main point here is that the reason I feel like I honed in on mental health as the problem was because at the same time, there is a solution to that. Versus what you were saying with all the other stuff kind of just thrown in the air and nothing really done. And that's where I want the focus to be. To let everyone know that, okay, maybe people don't agree that mental health might be the main problem, but it's a significant one.
Right.
And it's also a problem.
Maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it's not the problem every time, but
Right.
it has been and continues to be a problem time after time.
And it's such a significant problem that also has a solution to it. Now, I also will bring this up because I do this as part of our corporate wellness webinars, and this is going to be all of episode 37. But it's very clear in the data. It's very clear, number one, where our mental health is going in this country, and you don't even need the data. We see it. We're experiencing it. But then you look at and compare how the top ways that we are trying to cure and solve, never a solve for mental health, but solve mental health is, in my opinion, opinionated, not working. So that's what another huge reason I want to bring this up so that I can give what I believe is the best way to, in quotes, solve, aka just improve mental health.
Cool.
Some of the biggest concerns that I'm seeing, dude. So I'll give a few examples. I mean, and I have my iPad here because next episode is going to be a topic episode, and I wanted to make sure I get everything out. And same thing for this one. But dude, when I'm talking about mental health, there's so much to it, right? We could talk about the dementias and the loss of cognitive ability and functioning, but I just mean the simple day-to-days that we're seeing with anxiety, depression, burnout, lack of emotional control, loneliness, disconnection, no pride, no passion, insane stress, chronic stress, acute stress, constant feeling of being overwhelmed. I mean, dude, it's, of course, the chronic mental health crisis, but the acute as well. And all of those things I just mentioned, there are good to have in our day-to-day, but the way that most people are experiencing them are not that positive stressor, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll give a stupid example, but it's such a good example. In my apartment, I am looking out to it's a main road. It's a 4-lane main road. It's across from a Chick-fil-A, a Wawa. But I always have my window open when I work. Dude, I'm not kidding you. I probably can count 5 different occurrences every single day where there's road rage. And someone just something happening, someone screaming F you, buddy, or screw you, or just outraging. And every single time it dawns on me, and my reaction to that is, oh my gosh, people cannot control their emotions. And they're just, everyone's, I don't want to say everyone, that's so wrong, but so many people living so sad, so anxious, so stressed, so burnt out, lack of motivation. It's sad, dude. And that's where you can hear that's why I got into wellness and health in general. But I am so passionate because I see a situation like that and it stings me, dude. It hurts me so bad because I know there's a solution. The solution is not easy, but I just know so many people can get better, and that's why I'm very excited for episode 37 when we go into the details. This is more of a call to action episode that I wanted to bring up, and then we'll segue into the main idea. But What's your take? I mean, in terms of what you see, I know it's tough, and look, I don't want mental health to be a tough topic at all. I think it should. I think part of the problem is that we don't talk about it enough. We're not open about it enough. And I know we've had so many conversations where we're so open with each other. But are you seeing what I'm seeing, or is it just because I have such a different wellness outlook and viewpoint on all this?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tough.
I don't know if I'm seeing where it's so hard. Like, we live in a time, and this sounds like an excuse, but social media and media is heightened to the max. So every time, like with mental health and all that stuff, it feels like it's worse than it's ever been. But I don't know if that's just our time and media like social media amplifies it. And it was the same as it was in the 90s. We just have media just like putting gasoline on it and you see it everywhere. Or it actually is igniting it and making it worse. I would say the latter.
Yeah, me
but
too.
But that's just, I don't know that to be a fact or not. It just seems like it's bad right now, and it continues to get worse every year, every day, I guess, for the general population. And that's not an opinion or a fact. It's just like, I guess it's an opinion. Like, it's what I think is happening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the solution to it because I don't have the background to give the solution.
I think you're right, though. I think it's the latter, but social media definitely amplifies it in two ways. One, it's definitely making it worse, like in the moment, but also it's making it more out there and widespread, and we're seeing it more. So that's another thing, because going back to like old times, whether it's the 90s or even before, it was definitely there, like anxiety, depression. Yeah. I don't think it was to the scale that we are seeing it now, and also the treatment was very, very different. I don't think the severity, it was even close to the same. And part of this too that actually got me thinking about this episode. It's funny that I'm going to bring this up, but Theo Von actually had an episode with this Amish kid, and one of the things he was asking him, he asked him about ADHD or ADD, and the kid was like, I don't know what ADD is. Like, what's ADD? And I listened I paused the episode, and that hit me.
Well, it's almost like, you think about it, if you're ignorant to things that go on, you see stuff on social media that you would never even know existed, and it sparks stuff in your brain that it would probably never cross your...
Right. And so how much acute stress are people adding to their lives just from social media that literally has no...
So, like, it's so hard to put a number on and,
right, like,
and track.
But
so that's why I say I don't know, because it's like almost impossible to track.
Yeah, so that specific point got me thinking. I highly recommend people go listen to this, because one, it was really cool. We live in PA, so we can drive 30 minutes and see Amish.
Yeah.
But it's more to understand that, okay, they're living a lifestyle that humans kind of evolved into without technology and all of that, but it truly makes you think. And the reason I bring this up is because I'm going to connect this to some of the stuff that we're talking about in 37, but it kind of shows a potential solution. And it matches along with a lot of the things. I have a list of, I think, 8 things that I want to go through in terms of the solution for mental health. And all of them align. The food that they're eating. I mean, we talk about the big 3: nutrition, exercise, and sleep.
Thought you forgot one there for a sec.
No, I was actually about to say mental health, but we're talking about it. And they eat clean food. They are moving all day because they're on the farm. They're sleeping because they don't have technology to distract. Like, and then you bring in that ADD thing, and of course that we have attention deficit disorder, because we're all guilty of having. How could you not, when there's an iPad here, a phone here? There's so much everywhere. So I just brought that up because that's kind of Gonna segue us into episode 37. This one's gonna be a short one. Just a hey, let's bring up this point. It's a call to action, especially because of those events just happened. But I really want people to take a step back. Think about it selfishly, for yourself. Think about it in terms of your family or your future family. And then I really want people to kind of reflect of when they get into episode 37 of what are all the things that we go through that they're not doing that they could be doing. Because even for someone like me who is absolutely crazy about my health, there is so much more I could be doing. And that's every aspect. Nutrition. Maybe not fitness. Sleep. Mental health. All of it. So I'm going to tease episode 37. Any closing points on that?
No.
So the way I want to approach 37 is kind of give a explanation of some of the stats, explanation of how the brain works, like a quick overview, and then go into a problem solution breakdown in terms of all of these specific topics. So we're going to be touching on like I said, the big three, and then some things that people don't really think about when it comes to how we can actually help with mental health. And I also want to preface that with, look, I am not bringing these up and saying that medication is not the solution. I think it has helped many people, but I just want to give people another way to view or another option, another approach that they could take home with them.
I'm excited for 37.
Let's do it. So, call to action. This is a short episode. If you really want to make a change, not only in this world, but for yourself, all I ask is for you to watch this episode 37 next week. Reflect yourself to see if you are actually doing everything that you're supposed to be doing. And look, I know health and wellness is not easy, but maybe this will actually give a true why versus trying to lose weight or look a certain way, because that's not what health is about. This is actually what health is about, and that's why I'm so much more passionate and so excited to dive into it. So, that's all.
Yeah, and make it selfish, you were saying about, but also look out for your loved ones around you too, because there's always signs that something's not right.
And no one's going to come and just say it.
Right.
No one's going to just tell you.
But there's always little signs that people say after the fact of, God forbid, a tragedy happens. Like, oh, if something did happen, maybe. And I'm not saying overthink it, but just keep your eyes open for the people that you love. Everyone is going through their own sort of stuff, so just be that person that someone can rely on.
It's so easy to send the text, send the call.
Mm-hmm.
I actually had a Mano minute on this about, I did my LinkedIn post about it, how I love giving more than receiving. And I think that's another thing that a lot of people could think about. Giving is selfishly so much more fulfilling. But it's because of how meaningful it is to that other person.
Right.
So, all right. Whoa. I almost just coughed up the LaCroix. Let's get into episode 37. And we appreciate it. Call to action. Really focus on this. Watch the episode next week. And let's get better together.
Let's have a week. Wow.
You like that?
What was that about?
Let's get better together.
Yeah.
That's just me being me.
Let's go.
Let's have a week.
See ya.